What is going on, guys? Welcome back once again. So in this video we will talk about Bitcoin's price action, then Ethereum's price action, then Fantom, and then we're going to be comparing SUSHIswap to Step Finance in terms of the price action itself, and then we'll jump into the tokenomics of Step Finance. And lastly, I've got a lot of things to talk about on all the long exposure I have on Bitcoin itself. So without any further ado, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame right here, guys. This one is maintaining above $52,000 to the upside, and until you're quite literally doing that on the price action on the 3-day opening and a closing basis, you have your target set in for the retest of the previous all-time high, guys. You know the deal right here. If we are able to take out the previous all-time high on a 3-day tendering basis, you will be targeting 1618 and 2618 ultimately, guys. First target is going to be at $85,000 after the all-time high breakout, but I do expect and I do believe there is going to be a lot of turbulent environment. Essentially, it is going to be very volatile, guys, because we have started expanding, we started almost redlining on the 3-day time frame in terms of the volatility, guys, which is why our base asset, our kingpin, Mr. BTC, can certainly be volatile by 5 to 10% on a daily trending basis, guys, which could be a little, let's say, guys, if you're trying to trade the intraday time frames of Bitcoin itself, it is going to be a little difficult, right? As you can see, if we talk about the small term time frames, guys, the 4-hour time frames, the price action has been trying to trap a lot of traders right here on the 21 moving average exponential, and essentially this is the behavior that I would be looking forward for Bitcoin itself, which is why, guys, if we are in a swing long trade for Bitcoin itself, that is resolving itself out from this entire zone or maybe this entire range of reaccumulation, our risk management for a swing position is going to be according to the 3-day time frame itself, guys, which is why the ultimate, let's just say, the ultimate risk management is going to be at the $48,000, guys. The risk management previously was somewhere alongside $44,000, and to the downside was at $40,000, which is going to be the ultimate risk management point. Look, guys, if Bitcoin goes below $40,000, things will start looking very bleak, right, for the mid to long term time frame. But for the time being, this one looks like, yes, it really wants to resolve and simply wants to thrust to the upside, right? Essentially on the 3-day time frame, if you see Bitcoin going below 48,000, that should ring a little red bells in your brains, guys. And to be honest with you, this is the price action which I can talk a lot about, guys, because this sort of price action is something that we are looking at on these levels right here. Now, why do I talk about this? Alright, now this level right here, why do I talk about this? The only reason is that, guys, after the capitulation, we had certain series of patterns that formulated. Let me just jump back right here. We had certain series of events going on in this sort of price action on the 4-hour time frame, guys. You can see how many traps were just being printed on the 4-hour time frame, but the overall trend was to the upside, which is why if you are potentially looking for a breakout trade after, let's just say, a long form of consolidation for Bitcoin right here, this consolidation has been elongating for about 5 to 6 months. If you are trying to go for a swing position that is resolving out of 5-month consolidation or 4-month consolidation, you want to be managing your risks not in the 4-hour time frame. You want to be having your stop losses and your risk management metrics on something which is like a weekly or maybe like a 3-day time frame, because, guys, the 4-hour time frame could look very, very choppy. As you can see, guys, this was a series of squeeze grind resolutions which were coming in on Bitcoin again and again. The first squeeze and grind breakout was very, very pretty, and as soon as this one happened right here, we simply rolled to the upside again and again, and this one was constantly happening, guys, all throughout, right? Now, the bigger version of this squeeze and grind resolution was somewhere alongside this level as well, and we had a target hit. But, guys, look, we faced a lot of, let's say, reaccumulation, distribution, reaccumulation, and again distribution. We had crazy amount of price action behaviors happening on the mid time frame, guys, which is why if we jump into the 3-day, you can see that all that noise was simply cut, guys, and the only, let's say, the major risk management metric was essentially a price action behavior potentially establishing below the 21 exponential on the 3-day itself, right? Now, on an opening and a closing basis, on a trending basis, is what would have managed your risk on the 3-day time frame if you were to be long into these regions, right? Which is why, guys, you could be looking at the 21 exponential, which is aligning with this entire zone of $48,000 as a potential risk management metric, which is why we could potentially look at a squeeze grind resolution again into this price action, guys. Look, we can talk about a potential resolution coming from this range as well, but what I'm looking at in the small time frames is a potential resolution coming from this range right here, which could push the price action all the way towards the previous all-time high. And down the line, guys, maybe we could expect something like this, kind of like an upsloping trend, but kind of residing below the previous all-time high, kind of taking its own time and getting reaccumulated before that ultimate run to the upside all the way towards 1618, guys. So essentially, what I'm trying to tell you guys right here is the fact that if Bitcoin starts rolling below $48,000 and it starts, essentially, look guys, this is your ultimate risk management. If Bitcoin rolls below $40,000 in this entire trending behavior, maybe our bigger trend is going to get into jeopardy, guys. As you can see that we have, look, we have confirmed that the 618 zone coming from this bearish leg is not, let's just say, it's not a zone which is full of sell pressure. I don't think a lot of people are supplying Bitcoin on the 618, which is why you were simply able to bullishly engulf above this previous trend right here, guys. And look, guys, that does not mean that we can't come back down onto these levels and test these sides of liquidity once again. It could happen, potentially it could happen, potentially we could simply roll to the upside, which is something which I'm looking forward to, right? But how are you going to be completely convicted of the fact, alright guys, look, there is nothing called as 100% conviction when you're trading in the markets, but the bigger form of confirmation would be above $58,000 on a 3-day basis, right? This is a level which I've been talking about for a very long time, guys. If you've been following up with the content literally for the previous 4 to 5 months, this is the point of control for Bitcoin's price action, because this was the last lower high before we started literally trending to the downside all the way towards $30,000 reaccumulation zones, right? And until you are below this price point right here, Bitcoin will have a little benefit of doubt in terms of the bearish price action that could take a long time to essentially resolve to the upside all the way towards the previous all-time high, and maybe beyond towards your $85,000 and maybe $120,000 coming down the line as well. But for that to happen, the first and the foremost thing that has to happen is a 3-day trend above 58,000, guys. Most likely, if we close this weekly candle like this, which is going to be happening the next 1 day 17 hours, if we close a weekly candle like this, most likely your immediate trend continuation would be something which a lot of market participants will look forward to. And that would mean that, guys, look, this is something which we are challenging right now. The upper Bollinger Band has to be taken out as well. So essentially, if this weekly candle is able to close anywhere above $55,000 to $56,000, that would mean that we could be having an immediate trend continuation all the way towards the retest of the previous all-time high at $64,000, guys. Now that is something which I would be looking forward to, right? 1 day 17 hours to go. This weekly candle, if it really closes above $55,000, $56,000, that would call for an immediate trend continuation all the way towards the upside. And guys, all the altcoins that are positively correlated with Bitcoin's price action are simply going to take off with Bitcoin. They're simply going to take off with Bitcoin, guys. If you see, all right, now what do I mean by that? If we just put on, I guess it's going to be the CC, yeah. If you put on the correlation coefficient of, let's just say, let's take an example right here, guys. All right, Ethereum right here, ETH USD, something which you're going to talk about in terms of the correlation coefficient, right? And you can see, guys, that Ethereum and Bitcoin are positively correlated by 94% right now. Yes, there are crypto assets in the market which are not related to Bitcoin, and a lot of crypto assets are going to the downside as Bitcoin keeps on rolling to the upside, guys. This is exactly what a Bitcoin dominant environment feels like. So we are brewing up for that, right? We're kind of brewing up for that. So guys, don't get caught up in those headlights like a fucking deer, right? Be aware of the fact that our landlord, our crypto asset, which literally controls most of the crypto assets, is wanting to trend, which is why all eyes on Bitcoin at first, and then you can bifurcate your exposure into anything else, guys. A Bitcoin dominant environment tells us that you have to be vigilant about the price action coming in on Bitcoin at first, and then you can proceed into other altcoins. Guys, look, Ethereum right here is positively correlated right here. You can talk about crazy other assets which are positively correlated, so you can kind of trade all of these assets with Bitcoin trying to clear to the upside, right? So this is a strategy which you could potentially play. And guys, one more thing about the RSI as well. This is looking nice, guys. This is looking crazy amazing. So what could be the ultimate bullish scenario for Bitcoin and most of the crypto assets? This weekly candle closing above $55,500 levels and the RSI closing above 60. Man, oh man. That would mean that we are potentially getting into a super trend on Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, guys. Now, don't go on Google and try to find what super trend is. This is something which I coined myself. Super trend is essentially an RSI trending above 60 and good looking price action as well. This is called a super trend, guys. This is something which is going on a lot of crypto assets as well. And some of the crypto assets are consolidating back down from the super trends, right? Why do I talk about this? If history has to tell us anything, this was your super trend which got initiated with Bitcoin rolling above the upper side of Bollinger Band, and your RSI was above the 60 reads, which simply took the price action all the way towards $60,000, guys. Now, this is a kind of landscape which could potentially play out once again, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. If I didn't long Bitcoin until now, I would simply wait for this area to, let's just say, to get picked up, and once price action establishes a good looking support above 58,000 on a weekly basis, that would be above the upper Bollinger Band, and the RSI would be above $70 reads, 60 reads. That would give me a little more confidence in jumping into a new long exposure into the market, right? For the time being, guys, this is literally this is a replication of my positions that I've taken in my real account, and well, to be honest with you, I'm going to be managing my risk below the $40,000, guys. This is as simple as it can get on the weekly, on the 3-day, and on the daily as well. If you take a look at the daily charts as well, you can see, guys, that let me just get back right here. You can see that how we put in a higher low in context with this low right here, and we are simply continuing our way to the upside. So yes, Bitcoin being above $40,000 is a good news, and me personally, I'm going to be managing all of my risks below 40,000, guys. Essentially, if I see Bitcoin going at $39,999, that would ring a red bell in my brains, and maybe I would be wanting to recalibrate my exposure in the market as a whole, right? But for that matter, guys, I think for me personally, before jumping into such amount of positions in the market, I had everything planned out, and the risk tolerance and the risk acceptance was in my brains before I executed the position, guys. Remember, before you execute any position in the market, you have to accept the risk according to your TA, right? According to your analysis. So essentially, you got to trust your analysis and let your risk management do the thing. And if you don't accept the risk before jumping into a trade, that could make things a little haywire for your management, guys. That could take a toll on your brains, and your positional management could take a hit as a whole, right? So accept all the risks before exposing your capital into the markets, guys. Just have that clarity in your brains that I got to accept it. I got to accept that potential loss which could happen, and then let the position ride to the upside. In terms of a dynamic environment, in terms of a macro resolution, guys, we're looking at a Bitcoin macro resolution once again, coming from this entire consolidation range, guys. Now remember, guys, look, as an analyst, as a trader, I would be bearish right here onto the lows, because we have higher probability towards breaking these things to the downside. And on the resistance level, the first and the foremost pass, at least for the first test towards the main resistance point, I'm going to be having a bullish bias, right? I'm simply going to be having a bullish bias because the higher chances lies towards the fact that we could be rolling all the way towards the upside, guys, in the bigger picture, in the bigger picture. Now, things will certainly look different in a bear market, guys. Things will look very different when we are printing in higher lows. We are printing in series of lower highs again and again. So things will look completely different as a whole. But right now, we are setting up good looking trends right here on the price action itself, and out of this entire bearish wave, we are going above 0.618, which is a change of behavior, which is a straight up simple change of behavior. So if I were to be bearish, if I was bearish, which I was, right? I was completely bearish in the price action below $58,000. My bearish bias took a hit when we started taking out 0.618 to the upside, guys. This was the first indication right here that maybe we could start peaking above this entire zone, and maybe we could start trending above $50,000 for good, and then we can probably finally target an $85,000 Bitcoin, or maybe $120,000 Bitcoin, guys. And then you know the deal, guys. 7 and 6 is that 300,000, and maybe beyond as well. You can talk about these price action targets again and again, but the ultimate fact remains that you have to be vigilant about the exposure and your risk management in the market before you establish a good looking position in the market, right? Okay, we're going to be jumping right off into Ethereum right here. Now, Ethereum on the 12-hour time frame, yep, this one is doing exactly what Bitcoin is trying to do, guys. You will be managing your risk on Ethereum below the $2,800. If you see Ethereum going below $2,800, again, that should kind of ring a red bell in your brains. And for this piece of price action as well, you're going to be targeting 1618 and 2618 down the line, guys. This is as simple as it can get right here. And okay, all right, let's get into the extreme small time frames, and let's see how would you manage your risk, guys. Look, if you are managing your risks according to the moving average exponentials, I don't think it's going to work out as a whole, guys, because this is what market is like. This is what market is like. Most of the bots and most of the algos will liquidate. Most of the market participants who are managing risks or who are placing their stop losses, essentially. That risk management term is something which I use as a whole, but not a lot of people talk about risk management metrics, right? A lot of people simply talk about stop losses. So just get stopped out right here. Look, guys, look. Stop losses below the 21 exponential on Ethereum has been a disaster. As we can see, this entire trend is looking nice to the upside as of now, but we do have a little resistance going on right here. We've been kind of trending in the sidelines onto these levels for 3 days, guys, for 3 days. So it's been a long time right here for Ethereum itself. So if Bitcoin takes a toll, if Bitcoin goes back again below $50,000, maybe we can talk about Ethereum rolling back down all the way towards $3,000 retest, guys, and then we can talk about, let's just say, something like this is what I would expect if Ethereum loses these levels. First, I'll talk about the risk management area. Then I can talk about what potentially could happen on Ethereum's price action, guys. As you can see, this was in the small time frames, guys. You can see a lot of trading activity has been happening out of these levels, essentially at $3,500, right? You watch, if you see Ethereum closing a daily candle below $3,500, that would be an initial warning sign for your exposure in the market as a whole, right? If you're exposed on Ethereum perpetual contracts, that would mean that potentially we could come back down all the way towards 3,300 at first, and then $3,000 at henceforth, and then maybe we could get reaccumulated, and then we can talk about further continuation move to the upside. But essentially, if you start rolling above $3,600, $3,700, your retest of the rejection high coming on these levels, I don't think it's going to be a far-fetched opinion. We could be testing $4,000 real soon, guys, if we take out this level for good. Maybe on a daily, on a 12-hour closing basis would give me a lot of confidence in the market for Ethereum itself. But this is, as of now, looking a little weak on the 4-hour in terms of the price action itself. Ethereum has to do a little work right here. If you look, if any 12-hour candle starts establishing a good looking trend above $3,650 levels, maybe you could start, maybe you could simply look forward to an immediate continuation move all the way towards $4,000 levels, right? But this is what I would be expecting, guys. This is what me personally am expecting. A potentially inverted head and shoulder coming from this range right here, and then an immediate. All right, this looks really ugly, guys. I'm pretty sorry for that. But this is what you would expect, guys. This is the length of all right. Let me just skip this one right here. I'm not going to explain this one to you guys. But yeah, your upside target is all the way towards $4,500, which is going to be at the previous all-time high, guys. So this is what we are targeting, right? Okay, I think we have a potential disaster going on in the room itself. Okay, so yeah, this is what you're targeting, guys. Most likely, if you clear this level to the upside, you would be targeting a $4,500 Ethereum, right? So let's try to confirm this with ETH on the BTC pair right here. So ETH BTC is not looking that strong, guys, because Bitcoin dominance has started picking up, guys. Bitcoin dominance has started picking up. So the investor class has started coming back into the market. Investor class is wanting to invest. They don't want any application-based crypto assets like Ethereum or Cardano. What the fuck is Cardano? Fucking incompetent piece of shit. There is no second best. There is only one crypto asset. It's Bitcoin. There is no second best. There's nothing. So guys, this is the class of people which are trying to invest in Bitcoin right now, which are kind of pushing the price action. I don't mean to shit on anybody, but this is what is going on, guys. The investment mindset, the real fundamental values are shaping up nicely, and this is being reflected on the Bitcoin's price action itself, which is why you can see this Bitcoin dominant environment going on, guys. And well, to be honest with you, this is not that nice, guys. This is not that nice, because we saw a lot of price action activity happening onto the 6.5 million Satoshi levels, right? So if Ethereum loses this one for good, we could be testing the range lows out of this entire range. And guys, look, in the bigger picture, this could start looking like a potential distribution pattern, right? Now, as far as we will simply roll into the upside, and as far as we were trending to test the previous all-time highs right here from this run. Okay, not the previous all-time high, but out of this run, we were trying to test this one, and if we were to be trending above 8 million Satoshis, as of now, the trend on Ethereum against USD would have been really crazy, guys. Most likely Ethereum would have been at $5,000, right? If we were to be taking out 8 million Satoshis to the upside. But guess what? It's not happening. It's not happening. Ethereum on BTC pair has started trending to the downside, which is why we could be looking at a retest of this low right here at 5.5 million satoshis. So Ethereum potentially could leak into Bitcoin for about a 16-15% move to the downside. With Bitcoin being dominant in the market, this is something which we could expect, and not from Ethereum itself. A lot of crypto assets could potentially do that. Now, on the bigger picture, if we talk about the 3-day price action, you can see, guys, this is a pretty clear-cut looking range right here, and no trade in this range. It's as clear as it can get. No trade on ETH BTC in this range right here. If we break above 8 million satoshis, we could be targeting the previous all-time high on Ethereum, which is at 0.15 BTC per ETH. And look, guys, if Bitcoin goes to $100,000, $300,000, ETH against BTC could simply keep on rolling to the downside, guys. But once Bitcoin is done trending, that is when Ethereum would make its move all the way towards $10,000 to $20,000. That is when it could potentially happen. If Bitcoin is establishing a trend above 100,000, going towards 300,000, Ethereum most likely will go towards $20,000, guys, and numbers that our brains will not be able to comprehend, right? Maybe that could happen. Maybe that could happen. So you've got to be prepared for everything which is coming down the line, guys. Pretty interesting to look at the market dynamics as of now. With that said, we're going to be taking a look at Fantom right here, another Ethereum's competitor which is trending nicely, guys. This one is good looking trend, right? We had a retest of this breakout and we are simply rolling to the upside, which is why the macro risk management on Fantom is going to be below this price point right here. Okay, $1 flat. You don't want to see Fantom going below $1. That would mean that our trend could start getting into jeopardy. And if you want to have a little reactive stop loss, that could be alongside the 21 exponential on the 3-day, not on the 4-hour, on the 3-day time frame. So as this 21 exponential keeps rolling to the upside, you can manage your risk according to this price, this moving average as a whole. So you don't want Fantom to start trending below the 21 exponential as well. If that happens, yep, you most likely will be testing this level right here. And look, guys, if we keep on testing this one, this will get weaker and weaker, and then we can talk about downside price action targets, right? But to be honest with you, Bitcoin is looking completely fine. So the first and the foremost interpretation coming from this price action is going to be towards the upside, guys. As you can see right here, we are at the 1618. Coming from this consolidation, we are at the 1618. We are targeting 2618. Ultimate targets will be at 7618 and 10764 at a potential $9 Fantom from these price points right here, guys. Now, okay, now the 3-day risk management is pretty much clear right here. Essentially $1.2 is going to be the first warning sign, and the ultimate stop loss is going to be below the dollar level on a 3-day opening and a closing basis, right? So if you jump on the daily right here, what's going on, guys? What is going on the daily time frame? So the daily time frame had this bullish engulfing breakout which literally killed every fucking short seller in the market above the previous all-time high, and this one is simply rolling to the upside. So for this day, if Fantom really wants to keep on trending to the upside, guys, there's one simple cheat code if you want to see if the asset is in a strong trending motion to the upside or not, which is going to be the upper Bollinger Band on the daily time frame. Look, guys, these indicators can certainly help you out in a lot of ways, but when it comes to execution, you have to have a plan. Remember, don't jump into the market just by looking at I don't know, the upper Bollinger Band, and you just be bonkers about the fact that, oh my god, we are trending above the upper Bollinger Band, so I should long. Not like that. Even if you try to long the crypto asset which is above the upper Bollinger Band in a trending motion, have a good risk management metric, guys. Have a good risk management, because look, even if it keeps on trending to the upside, you don't know the day when it starts reverting. It will start to revert, guys. Look, these reversions or these nasty ass reversions could happen, let's just say, without any prior notice in the market, right? Which is why we manage our risk, guys. Which is why we don't try to predict the market as a whole. Prediction, holy shit, I simply repel this word a lot, guys. Anybody using the word prediction is just like, bro, are you even trading the markets? Because if you're trading the markets and if you're making money in the markets, I'm sure as hell prediction is not in your dictionary as a whole, right? If you're coming out profitable in the market, look, guys, I'm pretty much sure that if you're coming out profitable from the market, you're not talking about predictions and exact price points and exact targets. A lot of traders who are profitable in the market are in the trend, guys. They are trend traders, guys. This is a factual, proven analysis that most of the trend traders who do not care about the exact price point targets, who are trading the trend, who are trading the momentum, are potentially successful traders in the market, guys. Look at the momentum, look at the price action trends, and if you're able to capitalize on these trends with a risk management metric and probably a no emotional involvement in your brains, you could be succeeding in the markets in a regular basis, guys, in a regular basis. Remember, once you start actually proving good results in the market, the process in the first and the foremost days or the weeks is simply going to be boring as hell, right? So remember, guys, if you are making constant money in the market, but your setup and your trading is looking boring as hell, that is when you're progressing. That is when you're actually progressing, guys. And that is when you establish a good looking support for your own equity. And this is how you keep on scaling, guys. Look, every stage will have look, it would demand you to sharpen your skills, even if you have to scale up in terms of a general trading career as a whole, guys. Right now, me personally right here, yes, I have been struggling with certain amount of resistance which I have in my brain for myself, guys. Yes, I'm struggling to go beyond certain numbers in terms of my trading PNL as well. So this is something which I'm sharpening myself. So this is something which you have to keep in your mind as well. Be very familiarized with your profit comfort zones and be familiarized with your loss comfort zone as well, right? These things are quite essential to be profitable in the market as a whole. With that said, guys, Fantom's targets are nice to the upside, and risk management, look, guys, this one has expanded recently itself, which is why we would not be having a crazy amount of risk management metrics, guys. The first risk management metric is going to be below $1.7 on Fantom. Okay, we can talk about $1.65 as well. So this one trending below 1.65 on a 4-hour basis would mean that we could be testing the range lows once again, and then we could bounce. Then we can talk about further potential move to the upside, right? For the time being, this one wants to consolidate, maybe retest the middle Bollinger Band once again at $2 or $1.9. That could be a buying opportunity the first and foremost pass, guys. So if you want to be scalping out today, most likely let the price action drip all the way towards these levels and then play that bounce all the way towards the upper Bollinger Band on Fantom itself. So you got a potential 33% trade looking right here into your eyes. Just wait for it. Wait for this one to come down all the way towards the middle Bollinger Band and bam, go for that bouncy bounce trade all the way towards these levels with a good risk management metric, guys. Just be aware of the risk management metrics, right? But this could be a potentially good looking momentum based trade which could happen today or tomorrow itself on Fantom, right? All right, we're going to be taking a look at step against SUSHIswap. So why do I want to compare this one, guys? Like, Sushi kind of started on the similar footstep, right? Essentially the footsteps which were set by Uniswap, the first decentralized finance protocol. All right, I do believe that there are other decentralized finance protocols that were not, let's say, not funded nicely or something like that, or the codes were not, let's just say, it didn't work out for a lot of people. But yes, DeFi NFT is something which have been in a lot of people's mind before Uniswap came into fruition as a whole, right? So all of these assets, all of these crypto assets fundamentally are following the footsteps of Uniswap, right? Which is why, guys, SUSHIswap was the first and the foremost example. And right after this listing which happened on FTX, it was a massive disaster, guys. It was a crazy disaster. The chef Naomi, the creator of SUSHIswap, ran with $17 million worth of Ethereum and came back fucking again next day on Twitter and gave it all back. It's just mad, guys. The stories which our crypto market is just full of crazy people, right? What we can do is we can just simply enjoy our life just looking at all of these things, and it's just pretty much exciting as a whole, right? So, well, he returned all the funds back again, and guess what, guys? The funds were returned back to Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX, the founder of FTX, and Sam took it personally, and he started developing the entire, he made a team. I guess he funded the team that is still running the entire SUSHIswap ecosystem, right? So this one is going on as of now. If you compare the price action right at the listing, you got back down, got reaccumulated, and then guess what happened, guys? Look, I'm not talking about this exact one to play out, but you targeted a 618. Sushi, after just simply obliterating all the flows to the downside, got picked up finally at 50 cents and rolled all the way towards 1618, coming from this entire bearish leg, right? 1618 was at $14-15, guys, and that has been the average price for Sushi for a very long time. And for Sushi, we are in a strong grind to the downside, guys. Until this grind is not resolving to the upside, we could not be targeting $42 or $50 Sushi, guys, anytime soon, right? For that, Sushi has to take out these levels at first, which is going to be at $15 once again, which is why 1618 is still extremely relevant on the price action. So if you take a look at the price action, look, guys, this is a very vague comparison. Even if I'm talking about this price action comparison right here, I'm not that confident. But if you take a look at the logarithmic charts and how the price action is confirming its grounds, right? Let's just jump on the 3-day for Sushi as well. You can see, guys, there's a lot of similarity. The price action behavior, the market participation behavior in terms of the candlesticks which are formulating in the previous, which have been formulating in the previous 2-3 months. It's quite similar, right? It's quite similar. You get a scoop from base and you simply roll to the upside with the 21 exponential on the 3-day. So this is what Step Finance is doing as of now. And if we talk about the upside targets coming from this entire breakout, we could be looking at a $12.5 level Step Finance, guys. And do I feel the value proposition is completely fine onto these levels? Yes, guys. Yes, guys. To be honest with you, I'm fundamentally bullish on this one. If I'm wanting to long Bitcoin above $40,000, I'm going to be longing on Step Finance as well. And this is not a financial advice, so you can make your own decision. And if this goes to shit, you should not be shitting on me, right? This is something which I personally feel I'm confident about. And this is something which I'm happy to share with all of you guys right here. All the 50 or maybe 10 of you watching the content right now, I'm happy to share with all of you guys right here this particular setup right here, which could be a good looking swing trade, guys. So invest or just put in the money that you're not afraid of losing into this one, guys, because the gains which could potentially come from Step Finance is nice, guys. This one could potentially 10x from these exact price points, right? So for that one, you have to be maintaining a trend above the 21 exponential, and essentially you maintain this trend line to the upside. You could be rolling all the way towards these levels, guys. Look, now, here comes a little fundamental analysis on Step Finance. So the max supply is capped out below 1 billion at 630 million right now, but the circulating supply, look guys, this data will not show you the circulating supply, but if you jump into coin market cap, the circulating supply for Step Finance, I don't think it's a correct metric as a whole, but if you go to Step Finance, the circulating supply for Step is 4 million. All right, 4 million. It is just 4 million, right? So this could potentially create a supply shock, and this could potentially push the price action towards levels which are potentially evaluated at $13 for Step Finance as a whole. So why don't I see any sell pressure fundamentally? Because the tokenomics and the white paper tells me so, right? White paper tells us that the founders and the team had 125 million Step distributed to them. So these are the factors that can potentially cause sell pressure, guys. This is what is happening on Sushi itself, right? So Sushi had an unlock period for the initial seed investors. That was potentially after 2 years worth of trading happening in the market. So what is happening for Sushi? You are getting unlocks, guys. Sushi is getting unlocked in masses, right? SUSHIswap token is getting unlocked in masses right now, which is why, guys, if you give free tokens to market participants, the first interpretation is going to be sell, right? Why do you get free tokens, guys? If you get, all right, just think about it yourself. Think about the first instinctive behavior that you would have if you get airdropped, I don't know, with some crazy amount of sushi or unis. The first instinct that you'll have in your brains is, let's just cash out and let's just do something, or maybe just invest into something else, maybe Bitcoin, something like that. I don't know, guys. If you're not fundamentally long into any protocol, the first instinct that you will have is, yep, you can sell it, right? Which is why, guys, this is kind of stopping SUSHIswap as of now. This could potentially stop Step Finance as of now. But the good news is that the lockup will open after 2 years, right? And Step Finance launched at 1st of May 2021. So we can wait until the 1st of May 2023 until the real unlock happens. So that kind of tells me that at least from the founders, from the pre-sale investors, from the community, alright, the community is different, guys, but yeah, from pre-sale investors and founders who have a crazy amount of Step Finance holdings right here, at least almost 50% Step Finance holding, these things are going to be unlocked after 2 years, guys. These things will get unlocked, let's just say, after March or May of 2023. So fundamentally, in terms of the token distribution itself, you can be bullish for Step Finance conceptually, fundamentally, conceptually, and theoretically, you can be bullish on Step Finance all the way until May of 2023, guys. This is a good looking investment, and this is not, unfortunately, this is not an investment advice. Make your own decision, do your own research, but this is how you find out things if you dig deep into the white paper itself. I encourage all of you to try to do that, guys, before you put your money into, I don't know, XYZ shitcoin. Look at these things as well, guys. Tokenomics, understanding tokenomics is pretty much important before you make educated decisions in the market, right? Okay, with that said, let's jump on to the final topic right here, guys. We got crazy amount of long exposure on Bitcoin from crazy levels as well, right? So the December futures right here, as you can see, guys, wick price action. Yep. So I was talking about how I would not be placing any stop loss for this trade, right? Because, guys, the equity level is at 10 BTC right here, and the long exposure I have is not even 100. It's not even 1x long, right? This one is not even 1x long in the market. This is 0.5x long in the market, guys. Look at my initial margin. This is at 0.63. Look, guys, this platform right here, Deribit, is for professional traders as a whole. So there's a lot of thing going on right here. If you are interested, let me know down in the comments. I would make a comprehensive exchange analysis, right? I'll talk about all the things you can do in Deribit as a whole. So guys, what is happening right here is that this is a 5.3 BTC long exposure in the market with a position size of almost about $300,000, which is rolling in a 0.4 BTC PNL as of now. So essentially the average price for this one was at 52,000. Look, guys, I'm simply targeting 85,000 to 120,000 maybe before December itself. If price keeps on rolling like this, if Bitcoin starts taking out $58,000, the conviction and the confidence would start growing in the market, guys, and we could be looking at 85,000 coming before the end of December itself, right? Which is why, guys, option expiry, I got a $50,000 strike price long exposure in the market for about 7.2 call options, guys. I got a naked long exposure in the market for this one right here, pretty much risky. This one is completely unhedged. All of these positions are simply unhedged in the market, guys. Now this is a risky play, right? This is a clear-cut risky play. If you were to be playing completely professionally, if you're managing a hedge fund or something like that, I don't think it's a wise choice to simply jump into a naked long exposure. An unhedged long exposure in option market can potentially cause death and destruction in your equity, guys. You can see the Ethereum options, they expired worthless, guys. So I had a loss of 10 Ethereum in the market, right? Because of the options expiring worthless. Do we have any options remaining as of now? Yep, all the options simply expired worthless, guys. Holy freaking crap. 10% drawdown in... This is what happens, guys. This is what happens in a simple naked long exposure. This is what happens. So if we talk about the positions right here, we got October expiry. All right. So for December 48,000 strike price, I got two call options exposed for an average price of about 0.2 Bitcoin, guys. This was on the money, right? This was right at the money. While I was taking position on the futures contract, I was going for a simple long exposure on the $50,000 strike price on the December expiry as well. All right, 40,000 itself, because we have exposure right here. So this one is rolling fine as of now with a 20% gain to the upside, and this one is rolling fine as well, as we have crazy amount of options exposed in 50,000 strike price expiring 29th of October itself. This was because I have, guys, look, I have a bullish bias for the month of October as a whole, which is why I was interested in trading the $50,000 strike price with the 29 October expiry just before the end of the month as well, right? So what would happen is that as soon as the option expires right here in the monthly closing basis, I would be evaluating for a week or something like that, and I would be looking at potential position rotation into November expiry as well. If the market landscape keeps on rolling to the upside, I would be rolling all of these positions into 29th of November. $50,000 strike price, whatever it might cost, I would be jumping into that, right? So with that said, guys, I think this was pretty much about it. I'm sure that you got a lot of value from this video, so hit that like, subscribe, all those good things, because, well, I do need it. I do need a lot of support from you guys, so do all those good things, and I will catch all of you in the next video very, very soon. Bye for now.